Eeshi-Ra from EFI, and I'm here this afternoon with Dr John Rogerson, and we're going to have a little chat about his amazing biofield energy scanning system called EFI Photon Pro and how it relates to sound healing. So I'm just going to ask him a few questions. Hi Johnny.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good actually, lovely.
Great. Well, thank you for having us come here.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah, great. So I just wanted to have a chat about sound healing.
Sure.
And what do you think about sound healing in terms of its capacity to heal? From your experience of watching and looking at, studying different modalities of sound healing that you've had over the years.
I've looked at a bit of sound healing from sitar to voice, sort of mudras, to mantras, to prayers, to the 111 hertz cycles that you use.
Yeah.
And they have, on the whole, they've all raised the spectrum of people's energy. In other words, they've transferred energy much more efficiently, they've grounded the lower energy, and they've sort of ascended the higher energy, if you like, connected with higher energies very strongly.
Okay.
With using our technique, which is energy field imaging, we see a brighter resonance in the energy field after sound healing, and particularly during sound healing. Not to judge too much, but they all work on different octaves, if you like, different levels.
Okay, and when you say grounding the lower energy, for those of the people who may be watching who may be not familiar with what that is, can you give it a little bit more description on that?
Well, what we have is we have low and high energy in us.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is to transfer or transmute the lower energy so we become more grounded.
Yeah.
And we're trying to increase our higher energy to make us more enlightened, if you like, full of light. Okay. So when we do that, we're a clearer channel. Right. And in that way, we're healthier to judge it. We're just we're a lot lighter, if you like.
More spiritually connected.
More spiritually connected, but also more grounded physically.
Yeah.
So, because we get a lot of people who are very spiritual,
yes,
but are hopeless with, let's say, materials,
right,
accountancy, and what we've got to do as a human animal is try and meet God halfway, if you like. Try and be actually grounded, because we do live in a very material world.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, society's very technology-based and very in our heads. I call it the headless chicken syndrome.
Well, we're also very, as you say, in our heads, and let's say English aristocrats or aristocrats from China or Japan are all very he, ha ha ha, very high frequency, rather than, let's say, the African is much more relaxed, is more ho 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 ho,
that's very
much more grounded, much more natural, much more from whence we came, rather than being slightly up our own, let's say, cycle.
Yeah. Great. And thinking about the session that we had with, and for those of you who are looking on the website, there are before and after shots. And we did a little, recording of that. Sure. And you were looking at the before and after shots. What were your impressions of that? Because you mentioned that it cleared up congestion and everything. Was there anything that you felt you wanted to add?
Well, first of all, it's how the patient or how the recipient feels, and I felt so much more healthy, if you like, lighter to judge it.
Yeah.
And obviously on our system it showed that, validated that.
Right.
But no, very powerful work. I mean, really strong work, particularly if I think I went into a deep meditative sort of void and let go. I accepted it. The difficulty with saying one thing is better than the other, it depends how you judge it. One thing might be good for me,
yes,
and not great for somebody else. So it's horses for courses in a way.
Right.
And the tuning forks are divine. I've also had some work with Tibetan bells and the didgeridoo at the same time, which was divine. But you've got to kind of like it. There's also a point on the frequency whereby there's a resonance of slight annoyance, if you like, but that's because it's cutting through some of the congestion.
Yes.
But I loved it. Thanks very much. Really.
Great. And what are your thoughts about sound as a powerful healer for the future and for now? It seems there's a lot of modalities now stepping forward which are using sound as a tool. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, it's intrinsic, you know, from prayer to, as I've said, the sitar, to tuning forks, to Tibetan bowls. You know, they're gonna be part of the new paradigm of medicine, if you like. But I've never thought that we've lost it. You know, we sing and we pray, and in a way, hopefully more people are resonating their frequency, you know, your power of your voice. And I notice now that my voice is rather clipped, if you like, I've got a slight cold, and it should be more resonantly rounded. But we've all got a tone that we should find, if you like, and what you're doing is to clear through sound your own tone, if you like, your own light, I think. But I'm still in mystery school with it, so I don't really know.
Well, it's quite a learning curve for all of us.
Sure. But no, it's very powerful work, and I think tone is, you know, it pervades all things. It's a bit like light. It's a bit like Akash, which is like pure spirit. It goes through all things. It affects every cell on your body. And what you're trying to do is keep intercellular activity very clear. And what we do is slightly get congested, and that cellular activity is less transmutable, less transferable, and it gets thick and acidic and worried and negative and stuck in a range or stuck in a pitch. So not to say that Africans aren't, or to say that Africans or their low, deep, resonant frequency is better than a Japanese aristocrat. It's just that we need to find that balance within ourselves. So, you know, the low frequencies, they can ascribe to higher ones, and the higher people, rather than being so high frequency, can come down and meet, if you like, low grade frequencies. To find balance, that's what it's all about, I think.
Yes. I'm amazed by sound, how it bypasses the politics of the mind, because the mind can go, oh, well, I'm not really sure about that. But actually when the body gets it and the body goes, wow, that just feels so amazing, then the mind usually has to go, oh, all right then. There has to be, you know, a kind of surrender that happens that enables the body to fully open and to unify, essentially.
Yeah, I think there's a yielding with sound, and actually any of the creative arts, let's say art itself or poetry or writing, that, you know, you get out what you put in. So the more you put into sound therapy or creativity or nurturing or culture, the more you're going to be enriched, the clearer you become. And ultimately, perhaps even the easier your exit. So when you're talking about your own transference of the soul, your own death, if you like, that things are easier if you filled yourself with real music. It's funny, in a digital age, we have non-analogous sound now. So we have digital sound, which is seen to be very clear and very efficient, but in reality it's much better from a tuning fork or a Tibetan bell, because it's really resonating every cell, rather than just like satisfying your oral fascination.
Or it's like a bit synthetic or a little bit too clinical, that the body doesn't really, he wants a fullness. The analogue sound has got far more in it.
And if you've got catgut against horsehair as a violin or a cello or an oboe, not an oboe, but you've got a real resonance, and that real resonance pervades all things, and that lifts your spirit. You still get that sort of tingle, and I think, you know, that goosebump feeling when you hear a piece of music or you hear a tuning fork hitting your resonant frequency, that you get that goosebump feel. That's becoming more enlightened, if you like. You're actually striking your core, which is getting it, if you like.
And what do you think, you know, because a lot of people who may be watching this, they may be a bit sceptical about, and they may call your system something like aura photography or Kirlian. How does it compare to that, and how would you speak to those kind of people who are sceptical about what you're doing?
With energy field imaging, it's a limited range. We're looking at infrared on our visual range, which is 49th and 50th level on the electromagnetic spectrum, and it's scientific. There are skeptics out there because ultimately people might not be ready to believe that we're more a sum of our own parts. So we're living in a dual choice of, I'm not I'm not connected to you. We're separate because we're seen to be individual bodies. But in
Mm.
reality, we're all strung on the same energetic template.
Yes.
So we're just looking at one of those levels,
Mm.
looking rather than hearing, which is what you're providing.
Mhm.
But if you like, sound or light or magnetism pervades all frequencies. We get it's through all octaves. We just can't see the connection. We just see the separateness because of our duality and choice.
Yes.
But esoteric sciences will, they've proved that energy and matter are interchangeable. So, Einstein proved it empirically in 1906. So, we know we're on the right footing. Just people, let's say, are skeptical because they don't want to believe in all things are one, and we have a universe, one verse, rather than, if you like, a multiverse.
Yes.
But that's we got healthy skeptics. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating, because when you actually look at the scans and you see the shift, I mean, that's not just coincidence, especially when you're looking at the different spectrums and looking at the different filters. There's definitely a marked
Well, that's a nice thing to say, but the proof in the pudding is how people feel. It doesn't matter how they're judged, whether they're higher or lower, it's actually how they feel. What we're trying to do is to validate that, just to say, look, this is how much you've improved.
Yes.
This is what's actually happened, quantifiably or qualifiably, because it's a visual system. And in that way, it helps them perhaps motivate towards better health choices, perhaps to empower themselves through sound therapy, better diet, better exercise, better lifestyle choices. And that's where our work is. It's not about taking pills to make you feel better, because they have a side effect. It's about hitting your resonant frequency, or hearing your resonant frequency, and enjoying a concert that's real, or enjoying a piece of music that's real.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, for me, I feel sound helps you feel more. And if you can feel more, then you can be more in tune with your surroundings, more in tune with your body, more in tune with what's going on the planet right now, with 2012 coming up, and the shift that we're all going through, and everyone's probably feeling it emotionally, and in governments and all cultures across the world, there's this huge shift going through. So I think it's a great tool to help us really wake up.
Yeah. It's one of the stepping stones to ascendancy, if you like. So, good work, Eeshi-Ra.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This is Dr John Rogerson, inventor of EFI Photon Pro, and do check out more videos on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Eeshi-Ra Heart, that's ASHERA Heart, HART, or my website unify.me, UNIPHI.me, or eeshiraheart.net. Thanks for your time, thanks for watching, have a great day out there. Bye.
Thank you.